plum in my brown. And that's like, sometimes y'all know that I use that liner from Out May called Eye Intense eyeliner crayon. And it's actually a deep, 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 deep plum. It's not a brown, but it's so deep of a plum that that color on my brow looks like a brown. And like this color, which is a kind of chocolate brown, almost has too much red to it, so it doesn't look very good. But anyway, let me give myself a little more of a pointed end. Anyway, so what I was saying, I think it just switched over to a new video too. What I was saying about how you are viewed in public and how people respond to your makeup is sometimes appropriate that they are critiquing it because you chose the wrong place to wear that particular look. Like I said, if you really draw attention to yourself at a wedding, it's like, you know, the wedding day is really about the bride, so you really shouldn't do that. And that's why they always say no one but the bride should wear white, because it's supposed to be, if that's what the bride wants to wear, it's supposed to be kind of drawn to her and not you. It's kind of a selfish thing to do that. So just remember that. Just be somewhat appropriate for those type of environments where you want to acknowledge other people's feelings or whatever. But at the same time, if it's just you want to express a look that you like, and it's not going to be hurting, you know, somebody else's occasion, and you want to do something louder, then do it. Do what you like. Don't let someone say, well, that's not appropriate makeup because you should be wearing only browns, or you should be wearing only pink, or you wear too much makeup. Well, that's their opinion, and that's what they're used to and what they grew up like. You know, Christ says, actually it was Paul, but the whole Bible is Christ, because Jesus, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning, and the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, it says later in verse 14. That's John 1:1, by the way, through like 3. There's a little more that goes with that just defines that Jesus is God and who He is, and that He's in the incarnate Word as well. And so whenever you hear people quote something by John, or, John or Paul or anybody else who actually wrote a book of the Bible, you got to remember that, and then people say, well, that's not red letter, it's not Jesus. The whole Bible is. The whole Bible is what God wants. So, when I started to say it was Jesus, it really was Paul, but it's from the heart of Christ, God working through him to portray what we were supposed to get from the Bible. And that is that if it depends on you, keep peace. At all costs, keep peace. Don't offend your brother. Don't cause them to stumble. Well, it's one thing to offend someone by, let's say, drinking in front of an alcoholic. That would be definitely causing them to stumble. Or you could cause them to stumble. Obviously, they need to have self-control, but if they're having a struggle with a certain thing and you care about them, don't put that in their presence. That is, possibly causing them to take a wrong turn when you could help them by saying, hey, let's don't. And I won't either. It's just helping each other. But makeup isn't hurting anyone. It just can hurt, it can hurt at an occasion if you're drawing attention to yourself when that occasion is about someone else. That's all I was saying. Like a wedding or a graduation or something. So I'm not saying you should be necessarily subtle, but I'm just saying don't make it about you. Now, if it's something else, you're going out, it's your birthday, you do like wearing a little heavier makeup than what's considered the norm in a business environment, unless they have regulations about that. Like sometimes they'll have regulations about whether or not you can wear dangling earrings. If it's a real conservative environment, and you shouldn't say, well, they're wrong. It's like, no, there's reasons why they don't want that distraction, and they're not wrong either. Just, just say, well, they're wrong. Well, that's just like them saying you're wrong. You can't, you're being judgmental at that point. So, respect if there's regulations in an office environment or whatever the environment may be, a church environment. Some people are more conservative about that sort of thing, and just don't buck them on it, just to respect it. But in other environments, I think that makeup really is an expression. And your expression may be au naturel, that you like the nude lip and you like a really soft look, or you like a heavy eye and a nude lip, or you like a light colored eye and a heavy lip. It's just, makeup really is an artistic expression. Sometimes makeup also is the thing people need to enhance where they have got flawed skin. They may, when I say flawed, I mean they may have like a lot of blemishes. They may have, like for me, just because I'm meaty under here, I do some shadowing under there. Sometimes what we use makeup for is what we feel like we feel better about the way we look, by the way that we color or contour, or the fact that we just add a little pep to the look. And that's not to be judged any more than judging a person who wears no makeup at all and say, well, gosh, she should use some makeup. It's like, well, that's just your opinion. She doesn't want to wear makeup. And she likes the way she came out, the way she looks. There's nothing wrong with that. And she shouldn't judge you and say, well, you should just look the way that you look. When you say, well, I'd actually like to, what I consider improve it or enhance it, or I just like this look instead of my natural look. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I think what I'm saying is you got to be really careful. It's one thing when there is a moral thing within a group that you are challenging and you really shouldn't be. It's another whole thing to judge somebody on something that really doesn't matter. And if it does matter, if it's in an environment where it is something that people have regulation on, then respect that. Don't cause war. Cause peace when it comes to stuff like that. And you know what I mean by war, just causing people to gossip about each other, causing people to argue and stuff like that. Don't do that. But at the same time, where it's appropriate, then enjoy expressing yourself, whether it's lots of makeup, no makeup, or somewhere in between. And don't let it bother you when someone says, well, that's way too much, or that's not how you should wear your highlighter, that you look ridiculous. It's like, well, that's how I like it, and to each his own. So with makeup, now there's other more critical issues of life than makeup where it's a moral call, and it's not just to each his own. So you can't say, well, it's to each his own. Well, this pedophile loves to have sex with children. Well, no, we're not going to allow that. That's not to each his own. So there's obviously more dramatic. That's a very, very dramatic example, but I do that on purpose so that you'll get the distinction. Okay, I can't find, once again, what is with me in makeup, eyelash curlers. So I'm just going to use this Pacifica Natural Beauty Big Dream. Why? I don't know. But it, oh, I do know why. I bought this. It's supposedly water resistant or waterproof, I think. Is it? Yeah. And it's a comb brush, and I got this at Sprouts, and it is, I think it's called 7 Free. It's either 7 Free or 3 Free. And once I had this reaction on my fingers from my fingernails being done at a salon, which I've done for years and years and years, and I love them, but I realized that there may be some chemicals in all of this that I really shouldn't be messing with. And so I'm trying this, and this is, oh, I don't like it. It's not very substantive. But it's just one little coat. I would give any other mascara more of a chance than this. Let me just do this. I did not use any liners. I'm just using mascara. This is a different look I'm doing today than my usual. A heavy line on the inner waterline, and I almost always do some kind of a cat eye now. Or some kind of, not necessarily a cat eye, but some kind of lining. Liquid liner on the upper lid, and a crayon liner at the waterline. But today I'm just kind of doing mascara only with all these colors, because I really want to draw attention to the colors themselves. I just think they're really pretty. It's kind of rosy bronze, it's plum brown. They don't even really blend well together in a gold, because one's very cool, one's very warm, one's even warmer than that. So it's just interesting what I chose to do today. I can be very unusual. Still, okay, so I'm going to let that dry for just a second. I feel like I need to move some of this pan around that I was showing y'all. And, nope. That's why I did that. This particular Z palette that has all these colors in it, I can't fit everything. I'm missing one little color in here, but I can't fit it in. It's that deep plum. And it's more of a blue tone plum, whereas the plum I've got in here is more of a I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's like a berry red plum. So yeah. And I wanted to use, here's the difference. I'll just show them to you. Oh, it came out good. Alright, so this is Deep Demser A35 from Makeup Geek. And this is the one that I got in my Etsy that doesn't have a name on it. I think it did on the original box, and that's a shame. It just says POIDS net. Odds net. That's, I don't think that's it though. Anyway, and see how this one is more, what would y'all call this? It's more red, and this is more blue. That's what I'm trying to say. And so I do want both of them in there, but I can't fit it. So it just drives me crazy, because I need like one more in there. That's all. And boy, are these a mess, because they all got chunked up. It's a total mess. And there's not like any color I would remove out of here. That's the problem, because I like all of these colors. And the fact that I added a blush, because I just added the blush. And that blush is from Avon. And I could take it out. It is Cherry Blossom from Avon. That's what I put on my face today. I could move it, I guess. Then I wouldn't have a blush in there, and I kind of like having a blush in there. So you just have to ask yourself, you know, life is about decisions. I'm going to say that a lot in my life and a lot in my YouTube life. Life is about decisions that we make. And so I'm going to have to make a decision. This guy doesn't go in there. He doesn't fit. It's so funny because I don't know. I might take the color that I just put on my lid out. I'm not crazy about it. And that is, what is it called? Magic Act. And that is from Makeup Geek. I'm not just crazy about it. It's too yellow a gold for me, I think. Kind of goes with this look. Not